1:18. Ladies and gentlemen, my topic is this. Brandon Routh. You might remember Brandon Routh.
Scott Pilgrim.
Dog. No, was
Also
it Dog
true.
the Bounty Hunter?
And it was. He was in the dog movie.
Dog Hunter. Dog Knight. What the hell was it?
You have the
Dog
phone.
Knight.
You can look it up, but that's similar to it.
Rises.
But he exploded onto the scene with Superman Returns. And I was like, here we go. This is the Superman in the movies for the rest of my life. This is going to be this guy. I, of course, devoured Superman Returns information. You know what I mean? Like the Singer vlogs he put up, every article about it. Singer saying he met Routh and he tipped over his milk or whatever, and the creamer. It was a very Clark Kent moment, they said. It was very cute. And then, of course, there was photos when he was like, you know, when he was just, he had a Halloween party, a normal dude, and he went as Clark Kent with a Superman shirt on. And it was like,
Still growing out the curl.
exactly. It was like, yes. This guy is he was from Iowa, raised on a farm too, you know what I mean? He had like the Smallville background.
chops.
I was like, I like everything that's going to happen with this guy. You watch the movie, his performance is a great performance of Superman in the kind of film they were making. I have a laundry list of reasons Superman Returns doesn't work for me. But Routh's performance is not one of them. He's really good as he's doing a Christopher Reeve impression. I mean, like that's what they're doing. They're doing a sequel to those movies, and he's doing it incredibly well. He's doing a very good alien Superman, which isn't my kind of thing. I like, you know, Superman who thinks he's more American or more of our world, right? He's protecting Earth. But all that aside, Brandon Routh was awesome. Superman Returns wasn't good. Singer was saying the next Superman was going to be like Wrath of Khan style action. I was like, I am on board, and then it all exploded. The public turned on Superman Returns. It never went anywhere. Routh was faded away, right? And he did the science. What is it called?
I'm sorry, Dylan Dog.
Dylan Dog.
Dead of Night.
Which I always thought was weird because he went and did that movie with the guy who plays Jimmy Olsen.
He did.
Sam Huntington.
He did.
And I was like, that's that's neat, but weird. And then it turns out they're like really good friends now. It's like, yay.
Same universe?
No. Not at all. Thank you for trying to get me on that, though.
Yeah.
You got me to smile. So he went off. He did that. It seemed like he was fading away. Like, what's he going to do? Where is he going to find his place in this world? Then Scott Pilgrim. I was like, oh, great. He's still getting
That
work.
was great.
Then nothing
Yeah.
for a long, long time. And then, pow, out of the blue, shows up on Arrow.
Yeah.
He's Dr. Ray Palmer.
It's a small thing.
Spoilers. He's going to be the Atom. And now there's talk of the Atom getting his own spin-off show. Da-da-da-da-da. What's queuing all this up, where I want to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Routh, is the fact that last night IGN tweeted out a video between Stax and Joshua about, like, is this the redemption story of superhero redemption story of Brandon Routh? I immediately responded, yes. The content of the video was very positive that, yes, this clearly is. You know, if they're going to do the Atom spinoff, this is great for him. What I want to talk about is, did you see this coming for him? And for you in particular, so I'm glad we got you before.
Yeah.
Is there another Phoenix story like this? Someone who was in this movie that was supposed to this is going to make your career. You are going to be Superman. That was so much for him to take on as an actor, right?
Yeah.
Of like, you're stepping into these boots and only a handful of people have ever portrayed this, and you're going to be this guy for the new generation. And all
You're
these
gonna be
people.
fucking Superman.
And then it's just gone. It's like, you know, I mean, that would be the most depressing thing for me, is that it's all just over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the Superman Returns in that when you watch that film, he is undoubtedly, I think, the best part of it.
Oh, sure.
I would say that he is the Superman that I wanted at that moment. It just wasn't the story that I wanted.
It's just
to be
not the
told.
one we deserved.
I actually loved him as Superman. I think I liked him more as Superman than Henry Cavill, who plays a lot more brutish. It was Superman. It was a lot more raw of a film. Also, we're seeing that sort of again with Henry Cavill, right? If there was no Dawn of Justice, his career probably would not have. I don't know that it would have skyrocketed like you have. I'm trying to think of another role that has sort of made or break people's careers.
Batman.
Yeah, I guess Batman.
I mean,
for
Michael
Bale.
Keaton, right? I mean, like,
Michael Keaton.
he's looked in a
example,
different light after Batman.
right? He was
Bale for sure.
Bale for sure as well. Bale kind of went from being
No one has ever heard of this Ben Affleck
mega
fella.
star. Well, yeah. I don't know. It sucks because he's a great actor. He's got a good look.
I mean, it does. See, the thing is, like, now I feel a happy ending to it already. Not even that it's even remotely over. The guy's still doing work. You know what I mean? But like, he got the second chance. Not let alone a second chance in the DC universe.
Do we? Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. Is if you'd asked me that question 2 to 3 years ago, I'd have said no. It's TV. It's not anywhere close to as important as film.
Sure.
But now, and everyone is saying this, and Colin, you've mentioned it multiple times. All the great stories are now unfolding on TV.
That's what Troy
film
Baker
is
said
a
today.
little bit. It's still good, but TV's had this sort of resurgence. There's a renaissance happening where we're getting great stories like Arrow or Flash, which is good too. And now he can go to both shows. I don't know. I'm not intimately familiar with Arrow. I stopped watching it after about the 4th season because I was like, or 4th episode because I was like, really, no one can understand that this dude's just like, It's not.
Don't look at me. It's I just have a hood on.
I've got
You can't
eyeliner
tell,
on.
and I'm looking
It's
down a
not
little
me.
bit, a little brutish.
Bane impression, so spot on. Arrow impression, kind of hard, kind of weak there.
I don't even know what he's saying. All I know is that I just remember clear as day that he's in the parking lot with some chick.
Yeah.
At a police station, I think. I'm
Yeah.
on the elliptical working out. He's literally just got the hood's like up to here.
Yeah.
Even. And he's just like looking down like this.
Yeah,
and
I
it's just
know.
like, but I'm so confused. You know, like I'm like, it's that guy that you know for 20 years. You don't realize that it's him?
Like if you saw your
God
brother
damn
in
it.
the hood, wouldn't you know it's your brother?
They've kind of, they've
That's how long
in the
they've
It
known
takes
each other.
me out of it.
I totally understand that and agree. In the beginning, they tried to play with Shadow a bit to make it seem like it was in a darker area. Now it's totally like,
like,
fuck
hey,
it.
it's
He's there.
Arrow.
He's there talking to the police. Laurel's dad or whatever, and it's totally Oliver Queen. And they're just like, oh, whatever.
So,
You don't know who I am.
corny. Like that's that kind of stuff disappoints me just as an aside because I like the idea of a superhero and a supervillain and a city in distress and all this kind of stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
And we've said over and over again, but that's why Nolan's Batman movies work. But like, it's too bad that like corniness often takes over these stories. Like,
Well, it's
it doesn't have to be like that.
Suspension of disbelief, right, can only take you so
Yeah.
far, and then there are those moments where it's just like, all right, you know what I mean? Like without any spoiling anything, how they're going to come back from the mid-season finale of Arrow is going to be a giant suspension of disbelief for a lot of people, and I'm very fascinated to see how they get around it and what they do. But Arrow's had its own crazy ass things happening.
Whole
so who knows?
rigmarole.
Whole rigmarole.
To answer your question, your original question.
Yeah.
I don't know as far as superheroes go, but I do remember the biggest sort of comeback that I can think of in recent, probably the last like 20 or 30 years, was John Travolta when he did Pulp Fiction, because John Travolta's career was super hot in the 80s.
Cotter.
And he just died.
Right.
Yeah, he'd done Welcome Back.
That's a really good
Carter.
example of a comeback.
He had done Staying Alive. He had done Saturday Night Fever, which put him on the map. Then he did a little movie called Grease, which everyone loved. And then suddenly they were like, this guy's the it guy. Went through the 80s, had a couple really bad films happen to him. I think he did like Michael, which was about an angel, like Phenomenon.
Yeah,
All these movies
yeah.
weren't very good. And then his career basically was dead until Quentin Tarantino was
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want to play Vincent Vega in this crazy movie? I've got the second movie I'm making after Reservoir Dogs. It was a pretty big success, indie classic, making this Pulp Fiction movie. And it skyrocketed him to the top. Like the next movie he did was like Face Off and then Swordfish and then all
Swordfish.
and, like,
What
and
a
that was
flick.
and you're talking Face Off, and it's hard to put these movies in perspective because you really have to. They're signs of their time. You're talking Face Off at the height of Nicolas Cage's career, after he had done like Leaving Las Vegas and was like as nominated, or I think he won an Academy Award for that. And you're like, dude, this is a power duo. And then you watch a movie by a great director who was like critically acclaimed at the time. John Woo was like, oh, he had done like a bunch of what the hell did he do? He did great
Didn't he
great
do
films.
Godzilla in the late 90s? Is that the same guy that did who did the? I don't know why. I mean, I don't know anything about filmmaking at all, but I just
Right.
recognize that name from that 98.
No, John Woo was a came over from Hong Kong. He was a believe a Chinese filmmaker, and he'd done a lot of stuff with Chow Yun Fat. Put Chow Yun Fat on the map, and he was in the replacement colors in Antoine Fuqua. He was huge in Asia.
Okay.
Huge. Came
Off,
over
way
here.
off on that one.
He did.
I was a bit off on that one.
He did that movie, and
Oh,
then he
huge
did
in Asia, Godzilla. You were close.
And he wow.
That was funny. That was a good
That was
one.
a good
Tim's
one.
been
That was
on
great.
today.
Thank you.
This
I've been
is what
trying.
happens when we get to do the Game Over Greggy show
At
early.
2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that he did a bunch, and now John Travolta is still huge. He's still a big name. He can still get big roles. He's a little bit more of a caricature of himself. but
Yeah.
he got redeemed. He came back as no longer the John Travolta who was super good looking and super fit from Staying Alive, right? Where you could take his shirt off and women would swoon. You're like, oh my god, this guy's oiled, like greased up like a piston.
Was that what people were saying about
Have
him?
you seen? If you watch the
That's what
last
you were
Sure,
saying
I'm
about
just
him,
saying,
I guess.
oiled and greased up like a piston.
this dude is hard as nails. He was not fit. He was pudgy. There's a scene with his shirt off where he has to take his clothes off at the end in Tarantino's backyard. They're spritzing him down because he's got brain matter all over his, and they got the great shot of Samuel L. Jackson in the fro. He's got brain matter. Like, get that out of your fro. You're like, wow, this is just such a far cry away from where John Travolta used to be, but it just worked. It was perfect
It was
casting.
right what he needed.
Perfect
right then, yeah.
casting. It made him this awesomely, hilariously stupid character, and that crushed it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really good one. That's a really good because I guess because it's not the same thing, right? Where Travolta wasn't given a role that was like iconic.
Right.
He became an icon in all the movies he was doing, whereas Brandon Routh put into it. But it's another great trajectory. Even though I think Brandon Routh came back and he's still fucking cut. That
Oh,
guy with
he's-
his
oh,
yeah,
abs and
that's
his
a little
muscles.
I saw him at a Comic-Con party like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's just a mammoth of a man.
Oh yeah, he's big.
He's
too.
big. He's a big
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's super nice. It's those
was-
Iowa values, that Midwestern values.
Man.
I'm happy he's back. I'm happy everything's working out for him.
It does suck that they had to go in a different direction. It would have been interesting to see him continue that role in a different story.
Sure.
It's just a different feel. It's more of a classic Superman movie versus Man of Steel, which is a modern superhero movie, I guess, with lots of crash zooms and lots of shaky
Right.
cameras and
Right.
lots of, let's just keep punching. Let's keep punching until we get to the World Maker thing. Oh,
Now
that
you-
went right through it.
Now,
It's like,
with all due respect, I mean, the solution in Superman Returns was, I'm weak to kryptonite. I'll just lift this harder. let's not start throwing stones at one Superman
This
flicking
isn't a
out the
little
other.
box. I'm just going to unpack this for 1 second. If
Sure.
you haven't seen Superman Returns, the main crux of the film
Is Superman 1,
is
which is really annoying.
well, yeah, it relies heavily on that.
I'm
which is
Lex
crazy.
Luthor and I'm back, and you know what I'm still obsessed with? Land.
Right.
What the fuck? Really? All right.
So Lex Luthor takes the crystals, if I remember correctly, from the Fortress of
Sunstone,
Solitude.
Yeah.
And he realizes that these things have incredible power. They can actually make land because they made the Fortress of Solitude. So he takes some of the crystals, impregnates them, if I remember correctly, with kryptonite, so that Superman can't come on the thing without basically being like
I
incredibly
like how you
sick
use
and
the word
dying.
impregnates for that.
Impregnates.
Yeah.
Cal Penn's in it, so that's interesting. And then
Never
the-
speaks.
Never speaks.
They cut all his lines.
all his lines.
So
which
it's
is
just
very-
weird. You're like, why is Kumar in this
from
movie?
Harold and Kumar. So it ends up being successful, makes an entire new continental drift, a whole new plot of land that is half the size of like half of the northern hemisphere, like basically half of the United States. Superman flies to that, no sense of the fact that it's made of kryptonite at all. Like,
No,
as
he
he's getting-
knows.
as
What's
it-
he gonna do?
Well, as he's getting close to it, he lands and he's like, "I'm fucking badass. I'm Superman."
This
still.
is
And they're
totally
like,
not the-
You're not Superman. And he falls down. He's like, "Oh no, this whole place is made of kryptonite. I didn't know that." They knock it. They stab him.
Yeah.
Right. He falls in, gets saved by I think either
Cyclops.
Yeah, Cyclops. Who like has his redeeming
Lois and
moment.
Cyclops come.
Right.
We should stop for real, because there's a whole Superman Returns time bomb here.
Okay. But let me.
There's
just,
no redeeming moment for Cyclops because he's a great fucking guy the entire movie.
Oh, yeah, good
You're
point.
waiting for the shoe to drop of like, oh, so he's Lois's love. When's he gonna turn out? He's behind all this, and it's like, no, he's just a really good dude.
He's just a dude.
No, no.
Oh,
And
great!
not only
I
that,
really can't wait to see his life fucking blown up by Superman.
But he goes like, there's that scene in the yacht too where he's like gonna die with them, and it's so like he's trying to hold them up with like
Yeah.
one arm as he's holding onto the yacht, and he's like, I don't know what's gonna happen, and it's this insane scene where the water's filling up, and he's like, well, I'm dead, and I couldn't save my family, but I tried really hard, and I sacrificed my life for him. Oh, the asshole in the red boots is here. He's just gonna take all my thunder.
Don't know if that
and
was-
rips the thing off. And grabs him, and then lets the yacht go, and the yacht just it's a beautiful shot. But
And the music's fucking swelling
so
behind it.
good.
So goddamn-
There were moments in that movie that were good. And then, of course, Superman's like, well, I'm dying, but I'm just going to go underneath this continental drift.
Made
This
of the
thing-
one substance that makes me weak as a kitten.
Weak as a kitten. And I'm just going to throw it into the sun.
Yeah, I'm gonna lift it out of the
problem
planet
Yeah.
and then into the air and drift it off.
Superman, man.
It's
Let's not even start.
I can't even with
Let's
Superman.
not
I
even
can't
start.
even do it.
I'm
I
happy
can't
Brandon
do it.
Routh back. He's a great actor. He's a great dude. He's really great on Arrow. I hope he gets his own spin-off show. We talked about it, that it might be a bit too much, but it won't work if he's got the Adam suit in there. So I'm just excited he's back and getting a chance. Good dude.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Game Over Greggy show. Each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table.
we had 5 this time.
I know. Each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, all you have to do is throw us a few bucks and you get the episode early on Friday, whether it be through patreon.com/kindafunny or Vimeo or Bandcamp. If you don't have the money to spend or you don't want to, no big deal. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny Monday through Friday to see every topic broken out day by day before the whole show posts for free on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are on our own now. Everybody go get Troy Baker's album, Sitting in the Fire. You can get it everywhere. You can buy it here. If you comment on Monday's breakout, we'll pick a random one to win this autographed copy. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.